All right, it's Friday, December 8th. This is an end of the day, an end of the week SPY recap, and today we end up with a two-up green bar that holds the midpoint of the prior day, takes out yesterday's high, and moves up pretty nicely to end up with a green week, another green week. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the continuity's been up, for a while now. Until we get a weekly failure of some kind, then we're not going to get any kind of pullback. We never really approached a two-down week here. I thought I'd go over each day here before I just kind of recap today, just to show you what unfolded during the week. We ended up, last week with a big green bar that started the month out, and we had a monthly open here on this purple line. So we also knew that in order to get kind of a two down week, breaking below these lows, we also would want to, we would be below this purple line and get the monthly chart read a little bit. In other words, the monthly chart, which is a big green bar the very first day of the month, it did take out that high, which is all it needs to do. And then it's a question of monitoring the open from going forward. If we stay below that, maybe we're going to fail and come down into that green bar a little bit to the downside. But as long as we stay above the purple line, monthly targets are still higher. And after a big green, strong month like this, after kind of this pullback, you do expect follow through to the upside, quite frankly, even if you have a weekly little pullback in here. This is the type of green bar that's very hard to really reverse in the big picture. So I still think we're heading higher. And obviously this week, we ended up in a kind of a interesting, series of days, eventually going up and closing strongly green again, which kind of, you expect a little follow through higher into next week when you see a green bar like that. And then we'll see if, anything, we'd have to see if we go higher. Do we come back below the midpoint of that bar? Do we get some kind of a two down? That's the only way we're going to get a failure. So anyway, going to the 5 days of the week, after that big green close to start the month on Friday, we kind of gapped down right. Here are the 5 days kind of on the 15-minute chart one by one. And I remember each of these, but I'll go over them again. I mean, the very first day of the week, we kind of opened up way below the midpoint of the prior day and had a kind of a red opening. I remember buying some puts here. I thought you had a real good opportunity for a two down week developing and a big pullback. And instead, the market came all the way back up. So, you would have been short here buying puts. I scale out. So that kind of always protects me for these, reversals. But even if you didn't, you can always do no worse than break even on this trade. Anyway, the next day, then after kind of having a little reversal to the upside, we kind of started kind of at the midpoint of the prior day, and immediately after two bars went straight up. So there was your morning trade to the upside, but that didn't follow through all that much. And it was kind of two narrow days in a row. Then we gapped up big on Wednesday, but immediately went lower. And you're at the top of a range that we've been talking about. And there was an opportunity for a few pushes down on the day. And it was a big 3 bar. So 3 bars are not necessarily, that just brought higher highs and lower lows. Sometimes you follow through and broaden out to bigger time frame targets. Other times you stay inside. Other times you reverse back up. So there's no actionable signal the next day. But what happened was the market gapped up. Which is, when you see a 3 bar in an overall trading range, not surprising. You never know what to expect, but not surprising. You're going to come back through the range. And in this case, opening price action yesterday led you to, an immediate buy signal, kind of one push up, and 2 pushes up on the day. And we closed green. And then today, very similar type of thing where we kind of held above the midpoint of the prior day, had a good buy signal here for the breakout. And then we kind of paused and didn't really continue strongly on that first move, came down pretty far. But essentially, there was an opportunity, and I shot some videos to buy some calls here, and then it held the midpoint of this bar. If you didn't get that, or if you broke even on that type trade, you shouldn't get hurt. There was another secondary buy here, and we closed strong. So that was kind of the week as a whole. Not every day is perfect, but as long as you control risk and take advantage of some of the opportunities that develop, there's usually good outcomes, when you kind of, each day and give you the net result positive. That this was a good day to the downside. I remember today was a good day to the upside. These days weren't great overall, but you couldn't get hurt, and both of these two. So it wasn't a bad week, and as it turns out, we're heading higher. So that's kind of a recap here on the week. I think we're heading higher, but at this point, now we have the reference point. We have the open of the month, and we kind of have the midpoint of this week here. So we gotta either fail in some form and start coming through that midpoint of the week, and then see if we can get a 2 down week. Anything like that, I would, feel comfortable with getting a pullback. Other than that, though, whether it's choppy or not, it seems like we're heading higher, even though we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars in a row to the upside. There was a lot of consolidation in here, so there's no reason it can't continue if it wants to. So anyway, we'll expect follow through higher on Monday a little bit after this green bar, and then just kind of we'll see if we hold the midpoint of this day. And as always, we'll go day by day and watch the opening price action and the pre-market range and everything else, and control risk as best we can, and see where things go. But definitely upward is still intact for now. And today, 2 opportunities to take advantage of the buy side.